Welcome to Adobe Photoshop Common Shortcuts by Tom. Let's start off with some of the most useful toolbar shortcuts. M is the marquee tool. V is the move tool. L, lasso tool. I, eyedropper. J, spot healing brush. B, brush tool. S, clone stamp tool. E, eraser. And T, the type tool, plus H, hand. R, rotate. Z, zoom. D, default colors. And X, switch between foreground and background. Then, let's look at some common layer shortcuts. So the layer panel itself, we can turn on and off by pressing the F7 key. And then to create a new layer, we can either click that little icon down here, or we can press Shift Control N. Shift Control N, and there we have a new layer we'll call color. Then we can copy what's selected from one layer and put it into another layer pretty easily, and we'll just make a real fancy little layer right here, filling this layer with this selection with color right there, and Control D to turn off that selection. And now let's press Control J, and what happens is the content that was selected, the original color layer, is now in color copy. You can delete a layer by making sure that your move tool is highlighted and simply pressing the delete key. What about typing? You can select all of the text by double-clicking your T tool there, and of course once text is selected, you can go back and simply highlight any text and make any changes you want to it. Just like that. Oh, let's go to our color layer. Let's take our eraser tool, and as we're erasing with the eraser, if we want to make our eraser bigger, just click over here to the right of the P key. And there our eraser is bigger, and to the left, right beside the P key, click it again, and our eraser is smaller. If we take a brush, it's the same thing. There's our brush. Make it bigger here, and okay, make it smaller like that. So very useful tools right there. To switch between open documents, Control Tab. This document is open in Photoshop, and Control Tab takes us to it, and there is another document that's open. Okay. And then to switch between programs, Alt Tab, one finger on the Alt, and Tab, 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 Tab. And when you get to the program that you want, just take your finger off that Alt key. Undo. Undo, you probably know, is Control Z. And you see it's undo, redo with Control Z. And then more undo, Control Alt Z. Look, it's undoing quite a bit. And then redo is Control Shift Z, Z or Z. It's redoing what I did. So again, very useful shortcuts. Zoom in is Control plus. Let's find a nice document we can zoom into like for example this one, Control plus right there, and H is the hand tool, and then we can Control plus, and of course Control minus takes us out. Finally, we have Control 0, which fits the document onto the screen, the entire document. So you probably also know that you can select something, copy it, Control J to copy that selection to a new layer, and then Control T with the shift is going to allow you to stretch that evenly. And that's what we want. Nice even stretch. And if anything is selected and you want to deselect it, press Control D. If you ever find that doesn't work for you, probably it's because you need to press Enter, you need to click a check mark, or you need to simply switch to a different layer. But Control D usually turns off the selection. If you're drawing a rectangle and you press the shift, that rectangle will be a perfect square. And we can fill that with a nice red color right there. And the shortcut key for fill with foreground color is Alt backspace. There's our Alt key and there's a backspace. And now we'll do that Control backspace and we have our green. So those are some useful shortcuts that can speed up your work a great deal. And I did forget Control R turns on your ruler. And then you can set your guides. If you don't like your guides, you can drag them to the side. Remember, your guides never print. They're just there to guide you as you make your Photoshop document. So, if you can dream it, you can do it in Photoshop. But if you don't practice Photoshop, your dreams will not come true. So practice, 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 and clearly with enough practice, you will do whatever you dream of. Okay, so good luck and keep Photoshopping.